Welcome to Outback Outdoors. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click the alert to stay up to date on all our new videos. The mountains and valleys of northwest Colorado compose some of the most spectacular terrain in all of North America. The aspens, oak brush, and pine trees dot the mountainside, creating a mosaic of amazing habitat. Habitat that supports the world's largest elk herd. An elk herd that draws in thousands of archery hunters each September. During most archery hunts, just finding the elk proves to be the primary challenge. But during this hunt, finding the elk was never an issue. As each day, we witnessed hundreds of animals migrate from their beds in the mountaintops down to the food sources in the valley below. With hundreds of eyes, ears, and noses on alert, we could have never guessed that having too many elk to hunt would be our primary obstacle.
Listen up, I've rode this mountain 70 years I've been alive. Choked on rocks and rattlesnakes, a wonder I've survived. And don't think I haven't had a bronc like you, try me. Every time he thinks a monster is hiding around a tree, well, the monster's on your back, son, better try to understand. The cowboy that you're fighting now was born to this here land. One day you'll learn your scars and all the fearlessness you lack. Don't worry about the things that you can't see. The monster's on your back. And there's a monster on your back.
What these elk are doing is they're coming off of here down into the bottom,
right,
and then they're walking their way back up and then coming back up the hill and coming up in here and they're bedding right here. Last night everything got up at 4 o'clock. They were up and everything was moving that way really slow.
All right, well, I think that's the smartest plan.
Our very best bet is to try to leave them alone in the feeding. Or we could jump in the Ranger and run up here on top and look at some of this too.
I need somebody with bigger boy muscles than me.
On this adventure, we were invited to hunt this amazing Colorado property managed by good friend Quentin Smith, owner of QRS Outdoor Specialties. He had completed many habitat projects throughout the property that added cover, water, prime forage, and created a paradise for rutting elk.
And some of them turn and come down below you and come down through the hydrac stuff all the way down. And then some of them come on the ridgeline up above you and then either dropped into you or wherever.
Isn't it amazing that many elk can disappear?
And they flat disappear.
Tanner Vernon, one of our field producers, joined us on this hunt. He also had a bull tag in his pocket if time and opportunity allowed. We took the opportunity early in this hunt to hang trail cameras and observe from a distance what the elk were naturally doing. A key to success in any hunt is understanding the complexity of wild animals, where they bed, where they feed, and their travel routes between the two. Now, knowing where the majority of elk were bedding and feeding, we felt our best plan of action was to intercept the elk herd in transition, rather than risk pressuring them and possibly pushing them out of the area.
We got in here about probably 1 and popped up a blind, got it all set up, got it brushed in. We got a wallow right here in front of us, and Q's told us that he's saw elk bed up this ridge earlier, so they went up there this morning and bedded, so we should be in a pretty good spot. Hopefully they'll come on by and give us a shot.
It's hot. It's really hot. We came into this wallow and set up this blind today. And it took a little bit longer than we thought. That this is the same spot we sat last year when I was hunting with a recurve and I missed that bull right out there. So with the heat and the amount of elk that have moved in, we're hoping that they get primed up and we can go and run and gun for them, because that's a lot more fun. Tanner is probably a half a mile over on another wallow. Hopefully, as these elk come through, they're going to split up. Heck, we might even both get a shot at a bull. You never know.
Hey, I'm Trevon Stoltzfus. Welcome to today's Wasp Tech Talk. I'm here with Lane Walter. Today, let's go through our setup. Season's right around the corner. We're going to show you what we have and how we get ready for hunting season.
Let's start with our arrows. I'm shooting a 350 spine VAP TKO from Victory. I really like the smaller diameter. It picks up a lot less wind when you're shooting in windy conditions. And then up front, I'm shooting a 35 grain outsert with a 100 grain tip, so that I have more weight up front for my front of center.
And for me, I'm shooting the Gold Tip Hunter Pro 100 grain tip, but like you, I actually do have 30 grains of weight behind the insert. Lane, talk me through your setup.
So I'm shooting a Hoyt RX1 Carbon Ultra. It's at 73 pounds and a 29-inch draw. And then for a rest, I'm shooting a Hamskea Hybrid Hunter Pro.
I'm also shooting the Hoyt RX1, but mine is the shorter axle turbo. I'm at 68 pounds with a draw length about 27 and a half. This gives you a good base of what we're shooting as you maybe look at your equipment, and that way you have a baseline as you start to get your setup ready for hunting season. For this and more information that can help you be successful in the field, visit wasparchery.com and fling the sting.
I think that's where that bugle came from down in there.
Pull out my boots and I'll sit out on that long walk home. Last night I laid down with an angel, but I woke up to find she was gone. I felt the sadness all around me on the side.
It's really amazing, at least for me and a lot of bow hunters I know, that this is what you wait for all year long. And every year, September to me it's one of my favorite months of the year. And you dream about getting into an elk fest, a bowl where you have 3 or 4 bulls just cranking, hot to trot. You got cows mealing, and it's just good to be back in Colorado, high country, in September. Alright, so it's day 3, about 4:30 in the afternoon, and we got set up in this blind. We had a bunch of elk
in this field this morning, and they were all piled up like, I don't know, 250, 300 head, maybe more. And so they all went up a couple draws down. They went up and they kind of spread out. And now they're bedded for, you know, a good 3/4 of a half mile. They're bedded across here, spread out. Insert a cow call. I can hear him. There's a good bull.
As you can probably hear, the wind has really picked up this morning. We got back up on our high spot to glass, and these elk are doing what elk do, something different every day. Yeah. But we've got them in a draw that we think we can make a play on. I think it's day 4, I don't remember how many days.
They're starting to blur together.
They're starting to run together, and we're starting to get a bit frustrated just at the fact that we're getting schooled, and to be here this many days and to yet have a real decent encounter because there's just so many elk, it's frustrating. But we're trying to hunt it smart so that we don't blow them all out of here, but they're starting to break up a little bit. So we found a really nice bull, and we watched where he went to. So what we're gonna try and do, I think, is we're gonna actually we took a panoramic of the side ridge, and we're gonna go back and we're gonna bring it into the in a Photoshop, and we're gonna label it so that we can have somebody up here as these elk start to move. There's just so many elk that we can communicate back and forth as to where we need to be to try and set up an ambush and get in the middle of some of the action. Day 4, day 5, I don't know, one of those days. We got to do something. We got to get aggressive.
All right, let's move.
We're running out of days. Got a storm rolling in tonight, and this has been tough. Like I've said before, it's tough because of the sheer number of elk and the inability to get where we need to be. We've tried to move in position and just have never guessed right. So tonight we've got a group located, and we're gonna try and move in and try and get in their way, if that makes sense. We'll do a little bit of call and see what we can do, but we gotta get aggressive. We don't have much time. We gotta get something done.
Let's move up around the corner.
Last night we let that bull sit. It was raining, storm moved in. We knew it was gonna be cool enough. He's gonna keep fine. There was a lot of elk in there too. We didn't want to booger all the elk out of there, so we snuck out of there. The shot looked good. We're pretty confident. But until you have your hands on the antlers, you don't, I didn't sleep very good last night. This is some thick stuff. If it punched in and came out and stayed there for a while, you know what I mean? But you're still talking about, that should be double lung. So he's definitely on this trail. With the volatile environment that surrounds hunting and bow hunting today, we as hunters in general represent everybody in the community. With all the eyes and ears of the media today looking in, trying to pick out things that are wrong about the heritage and the traditions that we love. The taking of our own game, the chasing of our own adventure. We must be responsible. And it's difficult because if you've ever been in the mountains with a bow in your hand or a rifle, things happen. And hunting is a violent sport. Something has to die for you to be able to fill your freezer. We owe it to that animal and to our heritage to exhaust every avenue to recover that animal. I think we just got one lung, and an animal can go a long ways on one lung. He was still climbing at 100 yards. And I don't know how that could be possible. Doesn't make sense. The shot was good. We looked at it on video. And you do everything right. You practice hours. Shoot every day. Work on your bow hunting skills, your calling skills, to make that one moment in time, that magical moment, count. And last night, I'm guilty of maybe overconfidence. I'm guilty of perhaps I counted some chickens before they were hatched. Got on the blood trail this morning and found the arrow. Found some blood. Now, we knew it was raining. It rained all night long. It was even raining this morning a little bit. That didn't help us. But as we went further and further and still found little traces of blood, we thought, he shouldn't go he shouldn't be going this far, uphill. And your heart just sinks. And so you continue to scour and you continue to do your due diligence, more than your due diligence, and you get help and you grid and you do all these different things. And he's not there. I don't know if this will ever even make a show. But this is real. When you release an arrow, it's final. I mean, you're a projectile with a tried and true broadhead, and you've practiced and you put it in the spot you want. And you expect to be able to rejoice and a freezer full of meat and the thrill of the chase, the adventure. And then it's gone. So for those of you who might look down on this situation, have compassion. Understand that bull hunting is a full contact sport. To be successful, something has to die. And in this situation, we weren't able to find it.
Thanks for watching Outback Outdoors. We encourage you to comment below, and as always, like, subscribe, and click the alert to stay up to date on all our new videos.